Ladies and gentlemen, just hours after pinning Tucker Carlson's segment on pardoning Roger Stone, Trump proclaims Roger Stone has a very good chance of exoneration in Las Vegas. President Trump blasted Roger Stone's treatment by the criminal justice system, the Department of Justice, and the jury forewoman in the GOP operatives trial Thursday. In a blistering address in front of an audience in Las Vegas, saying Stone has a very good chance of exoneration. How is it possible when they impeach Trump because they say there's a conflict of interest in withholding military assistance because, obviously, that means you're going after Biden? But there's no conflict of interest when the jury forewoman ran as a Democrat and is on social media condemning and going after Trump every second. That's fair? You mean to tell me that Roger Stone had a fair trial? Then there's the issue of, in front of an audience, blistering address in front of an audience in Las Vegas, saying Stone has a very good chance of exoneration. His remarks, part of a speech to the organization Hope for Prisoners, came hours after a federal judge sentenced Stone to over 3 years in prison. Roger Stone has a very good chance of exoneration, in my opinion. Trump told a crowd of ex-convicts who recently had completed a career training program and would soon reintegrate into society. Criminal justice reform. The despot and authoritarian President Trump, who is reducing people's sentences and signed the First Step Act, and now, but see, to Democrats in their to the warped minds of Democrats, that when you reduce a sentence, when inmates are being let out of prison, when President Trump's like, yeah, the jury forewoman is literally ran as a Democrat for public office. That's a problem. That's not fair. That's kind of like when Peter Strzok said, we'll stop Trump. The overt double standard is unbelievable. Everything, Democrats, all they do is complain. It's not fair for them. Nothing's fair. There's a bias against them. And then when they show overt bias, it's, it's not a big deal. You can, of course, Peter Strzok could, of course, differentiate, right? But William Barr can't. So Peter Strzok, when he said, we'll stop Trump, that's, he's able to have his political opinion. He's investigating Trump after he investigated and covered up Clinton's crimes and fabricated crimes with Trump, set up and framed everyone around him. But he's able to say, we will stop Trump. Trump's voters are smelly. Hillary Clinton needs to win 1,000,000 to 0. And then Kevin Kleinsmith, 51 examples or instances of text messages where anti-Trump sentiment. He's the one who presided over 17 deliberately false statements within the FISA applications. These are all, oh my goodness, it was just a coincidence. The FBI was never politicized. No. The fact that James Comey and Clapper and Brennan and all of them are on MSNBC and CNN and getting published in the Washington Post and the New York Times, that has nothing to do with any bias. They were completely autonomous. But William Barr is Trump's personal attorney. He needs to be impeached. He needs to resign. This is what authoritarians do. Oh, but it's not. So President Obama had absolutely nothing to do with the dossier, right? Everything that took place in President Obama's administration had nothing to do with him. He didn't know of Clinton's servers with top secret and special access program intelligence on them that were outside of the United States government for 4 years. He had no clue. He had no clue that Clinton's campaign purchased the Steele dossier. No one even talked about it. He had no clue that Brennan and Comey and McCabe and Clapper, his intelligence chiefs, were engaging in an investigation of Trump. He had no clue. In fact, we know that he was completely removed from everything. Why? Because Susan Rice, who unmasked names, still don't know why, because Carter Page did nothing wrong. He was never indicted on anything. He was actually working with the United States government for a long time as a source, he was basically working alongside the intelligence agencies, and that wasn't told to FISA judges. Gee, I wonder why. It's so simple. They started with Carter Page, then they went to Michael Flynn, then they went to Papadopoulos, and they went to 30 other plus people, then they finally got to Stone. And then they say, well, Roger Stone covered up for Trump. Slate. Roger Stone sentenced to more than 3 years for covering up for Trump. That's impossible. There was nothing to cover up. Assange was never, first of all, Julian Assange should be free, but he was never indicted or accused in a court of law for working for having worked with Russia or colluding with Russia. Never happened. The DNC emails, we have no clue how they were obtained. The United States government has no clue. They're confident to highly confident. The Office of Director of National Intelligence, now Richard Grenell, used to be, not long ago, James Clapper. So President Trump has pretty much wrestled control of the corrupt, insidious intelligence agencies away from Democrats. But anyway, this whole thing is nonsense. There was no Russia collusion. Russia didn't collude with Trump's campaign. We have no clue if Russia hacked the DNC. They're confident to highly confident. Read the ODNI report that James Clapper wrote. Read the ODNI report. It's in every, it's in my Federalist articles, my published Federalist articles in the Federalist, and also if you look at any description section of any one of my segments, okay, it's right there. You can look. And if you go down, hit the description section, you go down, you can read, quote, this is like what everyone should have their ringtone to the disclaimer of James Clapper's ODNI report when they talk about, when people say, well, Russia hacked the DNC. Oh, really? No, they didn't. You have no clue. You can't say they did. You could say, well, we believe they did. Quote, judgments are not intended to imply that we have proof that shows something to be a fact. Assessments are based on collected information, which is often incomplete or fragmentary. High confidence generally indicates that judgments are based on high-quality information. High confidence in a judgment does not imply that the assessment is a fact or a certainty. Such judgments might be wrong. Russia hacked the DNC. We're highly confident, but high confidence in a judgment does not imply that the assessment is a fact or a certainty. Such judgments might be wrong. CrowdStrike confirmed it. We're pretty sure. But high confidence in a judgment does not imply that the assessment is a fact or a certainty. Well, Russian intelligence officials were indicted. Yeah, but they were indicted on CrowdStrike, and according to the United States government, CrowdStrike and the whole narrative is, well, they're confident in judgments, but that does not imply that the assessment is a fact or a certainty. Such judgments might be wrong. And then, if you want to go into the Mueller probe, the reason that none of these people should ever have been charged is there was nothing there. There was no there. There was no there. You know how Democrats are like, there's no there. 85 donors giving $156 million into the Clinton Foundation. For what purpose? They met Clinton for access. Uranium One officials giving money to the Clinton Foundation. And then miraculously, so that has nothing to do. Well, there's no there. And then here, this is the Mueller probe, Mueller report. The evidence was not sufficient to support criminal charges. Among other things, the evidence was not sufficient to charge any campaign official as an unregistered agent of the Russian government. And our evidence about the DNC emails, was not sufficient to charge a criminal campaign finance violation. Further, the evidence was not sufficient to charge that any member of the Trump campaign conspired with representatives of the Russian government to interfere in the 2016 election. It never happened. So they swept up Roger Stone and they said, well, he covered up for Trump. There was nothing to cover up about. Trump had nothing to do with the DNC emails. Mike Pompeo, who took Brennan's job and then is now at the State Department, Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo himself tweeted DNC emails. They're emails that show that Democrats cheated. Democrats will cheat again. If you are a Bernie supporter and you are going to be really upset if he's cheated, he's going to be cheated. So you have only 1, 2, 3 options. You can vote for Trump. You cannot vote Democrat and sit this one out, which is what you should do. If you don't want to vote for Trump, just go Bernie or bust. You will lose friends and you will lose, family members or friends might not talk to you because it'll be just like voting for President Trump. I'm voting for President Trump. I've lost friendships. Not my fault. They don't want to be friends. Certain people don't want to be friends with me. So what can I tell you? It's their issue, not mine. I'm still friends with them in my brain. So whatever. But most Bernie supporters are, we're going to be so upset. Yeah, we can do. What are you going to do about it, huh? Oh, we're going to be really upset, and we're going to light social media up, and so nobody cares. What are you going to do? Oh, well, you know what? I don't want Trump to win, so I'll just vote for Clinton 2020. Hillary Clinton's going to be the nominee. Now let's get to the whole thing. Okay, Clinton's going to be nominee. You ever wonder why media was so happy and Assange should be free because he's a publisher and a journalist? I've written in the Times of Israel and the Daily Caller twice, 3 articles total for President Trump to pardon him. But you ever wonder why media is so happy that Assange or that Stone or that Manafort or that Michael Flynn, or that Papadopoulos, or that anyone involved with, the DNC emails had nothing to do with Trump, but everyone involved in their mind, in the Democratic Party's mind with 2016, do you ever wonder why they're always so happy when anyone they blame for losing suffers in some manner? Do you ever wonder? The left, I never understood. The left enjoys the suffering of others, okay? Republicans don't. Democrats, or I should say Trump voters don't. Trump voters don't care what you think, what you do. They really don't care. It's Democrats who, if you happen to smile about something or, disagree with them in your mind or, have a different viewpoint, they're petrified. And they're like, they've devoted their lives day and night, every waking moment, and even when they sleep, to ensuring that nobody on the planet disagrees with them. And if that person does, it has to be a Russian plot. See, they never just argue on the merits, or they never just debate. They can't debate. There's nothing to debate. Russia never interfered in the election. They lost miserably. They were mortified and embarrassed. Their self-worth took a giant plunge into a toilet. So they said, it's not me, it's them. It's not me, it's Russia. How can you get more xenophobic than that? Then they call Trump the authoritarian. They blame Russia, and then they politicize corrupt intelligence agencies, Big Brother. You want to talk about Orwellian? They're literally using Big Brother as a tool to go after political opponents and then blame Russia. Why would Russia care about fear Hillary Clinton of all people? She used servers outside of the United States government for 4 years. Even Michael Hayden and Robert Gates, President Obama's intelligence chiefs, stated, they were probably hacked by the whole planet. Michael Hayden stated that he would lose respect for foreign intelligence agencies if they didn't have every single one of her emails. She had 22 top secret emails, and I don't believe it's just 22, but whatever. In 4 years, she only gets 22 top secret emails as Secretary of State. Yeah, right. The whole thing is nonsense. They go after Roger Stone for hiding or lying to Congress about some convoluted thing where he was supposed to tell somebody something. There was somebody, he wanted somebody to lie, and he was lying to Congress when he really tried to reach out to the publisher of the DNC emails, but he said he didn't try to reach out, and they get him on this ground deal. You're covering up for Trump. Trump had nothing to do with the DNC emails. He had nothing to do with them. You know who did? Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and she was forced to resign in disgrace. Bernie Sanders is going to be the front runner about as long as Biden was the front runner. And you know how that worked out. You're talking about Bernie Sanders is a small Prius, and Hillary Clinton is a giant semi-truck. And they're going at one another. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win in a game of chicken? The little Prius or the giant tank? Bernie Sanders is like a little, like, on like one of those dinghy boats. And Hillary's a Trident sub with the nukes. Well, it's 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. Do you think that, like, you think like when you say, like, oh, you know what, she would never run. Who do you think knows politics better, you or Madam Secretary? I'll say she knows politics better than me. Who do you think knows politics and the Democratic Party better, Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton? Clinton has never told the truth a day in her life. So when people say, oh, well, she said that she wouldn't run. So what? If she says something, assume the opposite. They say Trump lies and lies. No, he doesn't. Not compared to Clinton. He'll embellish. Trump will embellish. And then the maniacal rabbit frothing at the mouth. It's not true. Oh my God, we found another lie. Meanwhile, Hillary's like, yeah, I used servers for convenience. Yeah, and I deleted 30,000 yoga emails. Totally fine. Not a problem. Attorney General Loretta Lynch meeting with Bill Clinton to speak about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. Totally fine. Hillary Clinton surviving Bosnian sniper fire. Uranium One officials giving millions into the Clinton Foundation. Nothing to do with 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. You can't prove anything. But with Trump, this dossier, it's there. It's purchased by Clinton. We have to use it. It's raw intelligence. Millions go into the Clinton Foundation from Uranium One. You can't prove anything. But a dossier shows up. We have to investigate, honestly. This is national security. They have turned the United States government into a giant joke. And Trump, although he has like this persona and he's kind of funny and he's belligerent when they're going after him, he's doing a great service to this country because he's going after corrupt intelligence chiefs, and we have a great economy, and he's reversing U.S. foreign policy. Give me your thoughts below. Check out H.A. Goodman's other channel this second. He's basically saying to everyone he's going to pardon Roger Stone. Give me your thoughts. Thank you.